Hello there, my name is Dool. Most of you probably know me from my Runescape series where I fumble my way into a fire cape. Thanks for watching that, by the way. Recently I've been doing some Minecraft videos and well, they aren't as popular. Yikes. Well, I guess that's fine, it's not a big deal. But in order to not kill my channel before it's even alive, I wanted to talk about Runescape. As the title suggests, and from my previous series, I didn't really know much about the game other than what I had watched on YouTube. But I think now I understand the game a bit more. Not in like a gameplay sense, absolutely not. I'm still really bad at this game. Rather, I think I understand what keeps people playing this game and what attracts new players to it. And I'd like to take a few minutes of your time to just kind of talk about that. First and foremost, RuneScape is a game about choice. No matter how you slice it, you are making a choice when you choose to play this game. Maybe you're a PVMer or a 1 HP Ultimate Iron Man. All of these different playstyles come from a choice being made. There are endless ways to play this game, all based on the choices that you make. This gives RuneScape a unique amount of replayability compared to some other games. Each new character is a completely different experience based on how you choose to play. A lot of other games offer replayability and new experiences every time you play, but if you want to put into the work, you can get an entirely unique experience while playing RuneScape. If you look at other MMOs like Final Fantasy XIV, which is an amazing game by the way, you should absolutely play it and maybe watch any videos that I make on it in the future. Okay, thanks, bye. They don't really offer this amount of choice. Sure, you may be given a choice in a game, but right there is already a major difference between being given a choice versus making the choice yourself. In Final Fantasy XIV, you start off the game and you are in a cutscene, you're told where to go and what to do. Now this isn't a bad thing, most games need an amount of what's called railroading, keeping players on these nice little tracks to get them where they need to go. In Final Fantasy's case, they are leading you towards other expansions and into the end game. When you start RuneScape, you better have an idea of what you're getting into before you even drop into Tutorial Island, or you're just going to wander around aimlessly. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I did for a long time. But RuneScape won't ever tell you, hey, there's a story that we, the player, have to go on in order to get things done. It is all up to the player to choose whether or not they want to do quests to learn about the game's lore, or if they want to just skill or go against bosses. Now there are some prerequisites in RuneScape in order to get to certain pieces of content. But that's about as much railroading as you're going to experience in the game. You just need to make sure that you have that finished in order to unlock the content you want to play. And then that's kind of it. You don't really have to worry about much else after that. Take fairy rings, for example. You unlock those by starting Fairy Tale Part 2. You don't even have to finish the quest. I still haven't. It's still yellow on my quest log. But with that, I've already unlocked what I needed to, and I can just kind of ignore it. Now, in order to get to Fairy Tale Part 2, obviously you have to do Fairy Tale Part 1 and other prerequisites before that, but that's any game. You're going to have to deal with some prerequisites for any game, but RuneScape offers a unique amount of agency, that's a good word, to the player because they can really choose how much of something they want to put their time into. RuneScape is an ocean. It has vast depths that most players won't ever see while playing the game. This game has a rich history, unique and difficult mechanics, and near endless discoveries or workarounds built into the world. It is too much to even contemplate as a new player. Luckily, if RuneScape is an ocean, the RS Wiki is going to be the boat in which you sail through this adventure, until sailing actually comes out, and then this metaphor doesn't really work as well, but go with it. Let's take a look at a few different things that make RuneScape so deep. The main point that I want to talk about for depth is one that some people might not think of right away, and that's loot tables. These bad boys are the lifeblood of the depth of RuneScape if you ask me. Let's say for some weird reason, you lock yourself into a region. I don't know, let's say Mauritania, for example. And you need to get a specific item to prevent your watermelon patches from dying over and over again. But the item that you need isn't normally in Mauritania. Do you give up on farming? No, you go look at the loot tables for all the monsters in your area and wait, you see that Firewatches drop the item. And just like that, your problem is solved because of this obscure drop from this random enemy. That gives this game incredible depth if you ask me. What other problems in video games can be solved by checking loot tables of weird monsters? I know this is kind of a fringe case because most people don't region lock their accounts, but I think you understand my point. RuneScape is a game that says, if there is a will, there is a way. I think one of the best examples of these weird workarounds is from Rendy's series about his Defense Pure Iron Man. This man literally takes RuneScape and breaks it in half to get what he wants, and I love it. Now I'm going to talk about some things that I do not understand, so please bear with me. Game ticks, prayer flicking, and the entirety of PvP. All of these things have levels of depth to them. Ticks is probably the simplest in this list. The game registers an action every 0.6 seconds, meaning you can perform actions on those ticks. That's probably not even right. But since this game's code isn't perfect, that means you can manipulate these ticks to your advantage, often to the detriment of your hands, like 2-tick teak wood cutting or fishing or something like that to make things more efficient. Using these, you can speed up the leveling process a fair amount. Prayer flicking also manipulates these game ticks. Being able to not use any prayer points if you're skilled enough is a huge advantage, and it incentivizes players to, as the kids say, get good. Prayer flicking is so accepted that there is even a combat achievement that can be interpreted as you need to prayer flick the entire fight caves in order to get this achievement. And that's fucking crazy. Now let's talk about something that I fully don't know if I will ever try. PvP. As a new player, I had the idea that PvP in RuneScape was just about hitting harder than your opponent since damage is randomized in this game to an extent. But then I watched videos from Framed, Torvesta, and other PvPers, and boy have I never been so lost watching something. The speed at which these people swap their gear and prayer while using special attacks and eating food, it's fucked up, okay? I'm gonna say it. Like, how do they even do it? How does a game with such a simple premise to combat become so difficult? Well, I have no idea how that came about in RuneScape, but there is another seemingly simple game through the use of bugs and glitches that became extremely difficult to play at a high level. That's right, Super Smash Bros. Melee. This game may look simple at first glance, but it is incredibly deep and has a lot of interesting mechanics with it. But that's not what this video is about. PvP in RuneScape is like the highest level of rock, paper, scissors you can think of. Maybe you're in full tank gear and all of a sudden your enemy pulls out barrage and smacks you real fucking hard. Or maybe you're ranging and a dude hits you with an AGS spec. You best be praying correctly or else you're going to be praying to a different god, if you know what I mean. The depth of this game is definitely not obvious at first glance, but once you spend some time in RuneScape diving through the wikis, you're going to quickly learn that it is not a shallow game by any means. Y'all like Runelite? Because I know I do. I understand that this isn't part of RuneScape, but let's all be honest here, yeah it is. Runelite, for those unaware, is a RuneScape client that has tons of quality of life improvements, and yes, it is an improvement when I can kick a door in, thank you very much. It has tons of different features built in to help make RuneScape a better experience for new and veteran players alike. My expert friend from my previous series has told me many times that he would not be playing this game if Runelite didn't exist, simply because of how much it improves the overall experience. Like, Quest Helper? Hello? Who is the angel that blessed us with that amazing add-on? Because without that, I can tell you there would be many less quest capes out there. And I can't really talk about Runelite without mentioning some of the other mods it has to offer. It lets you play fucking prop hunt in RuneScape? That's so cool. Jimmy has some great videos on those, so you should check those out. I'm aware that 99% of you have already watched those videos. Just bear with me. And I personally can't wait to try out that mod for myself and make some content as well. Idle is nuts for putting that together, and as someone who watched many a prop hunt video growing up, I will say thank you for your service. Do you want to know exactly when your items sell on the GE? Runelite's got you covered. Do you want to know exactly when your plants are going to be finished growing? Runelite's got you covered. Do you want to know exactly what is coming up in the next wave of the fight caves? Runelite has got you covered. Like a good neighbor, Runelite is there. In conclusion, Jesus Christ, in conclusion, like I'm writing a fucking school essay. In conclusion, RuneScape is sick. No, but really, RuneScape is a game that I really didn't understand until I gave it a fair shot. It did help that my motivation came from creating videos from it, but that allowed me to see the game for what it is. It is a massive sandbox that won't hold your hand or tell you when or where to do certain things. You can grind out as many levels as fast as possible, or you can take your time and chill. You have the ability to make a completely unique account and find satisfaction that way. Do you like PvM? Great, RuneScape has a bunch of different bosses that you can go take on. It even has a few raids, which is really cool. What about PvP? well, you better be ready to learn and get your ass beat because the skill ceiling for that is super high, but it's there. You want to mess around with some mods and goof off? That's easily done. RuneScape is a very special game, and now I see why so many people watch and play it. It has something for everyone, from the ultra casual to some of the hardest looking stuff I've seen in gaming, like an Inferno run looks absolutely absurd. I think I understand RuneScape a little bit more now, and I hope this video has helped some of you also understand it a bit more too, or at least understand my point of view from it. And I think that is going to be where we end today. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the more video essay format, because it's something I've been toying with for a while now. But until next time, thank you all so much.